Hello there. So I want to talk about a little bit of our government. Now, I'm talking as someone from Gen Z. I'm 17 and I'm looking at the current future and I don't think it's looking good at the moment. I think a lot of people who are in base can kind of come up with that. First thing that I wanted to talk about today is what is going on with the cost of living. Um, I don't see a good way in the future where Gen Z, my generation, is going to be able to actually live. Like, I know already I want to be a teacher. Starting salary 35,000 a year. How is that a livable wage? Now I understand if you have a spouse, but whatever, we can get past that. So then a major issue that I've seen is the 50-year mortgage. What are you talking about? So we're going to go from a 30-year mortgage, right? And instantly just bump right up to 50 years. And there's a serious problem with just going to a 50-year mortgage. The issue of just going to a 50-year mortgage here is that right now, with a 30-year mortgage on a $400,000 house with 6% interest, you end up paying $863,000. All right. On Trump's 50-year plan, you end up paying 1.38 million. That's half a million more in interest payments. No, thank you. And the core issue that we're coming up here with is our government is not actually fighting for the people. This is just ridiculous. I'm not paying a 50-year mortgage. And like right now, we have a system of a 15 and 30-year mortgage, and I could see them doing like a 25-50, but who can afford that? Like I just I do not want to spend my entire life paying off a house and end up with my net worth just being my house. No, thank you. I don't want that. So we're looking at the issue of why is our government not fighting for the people? And I think a lot of it has to do with corporation greed. When you look at this whole thing, corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard should not be able to buy commercial housing. Why has legislation not been passed to solve this issue? The main issue of the housing thing is there's just not enough houses, and you have certain situations where corporations have bought so much real estate that it has kind of drowned out the housing market. I hate to say it, but I believe regulations need to be put in place. Now, I don't know. That's not my field, but something needs to be done. Build more houses, make it to where certain corporations can't be buying stuff like this and completely eating up every house that's out there. Like, I feel like that's just common sense. And why has no one done it? Well, they're not fighting for the people. That's just simply what it is. Let me look at another issue that I had. This is a big one. Gerrymandering. All right, I see gerrymandering as an overall negative no matter what party is doing it. I simply don't care if anyone watches this video and goes in the comments and instantly goes to gerrymandering and thinks, oh my gosh, it's unfair. Democrats have more control in certain states. Yada yada. That's not what I'm saying. I really I don't care if you're upset about it. Respectfully, that's not what I'm talking about. It's the principle of gerrymandering itself that is the issue. When you have something like gerrymandering, the representatives are choosing who's picking them. They're choosing the people to represent them. That's completely backwards. It's the people choosing the representatives. It shouldn't be based on simply, oh, this square is going to benefit me more, or this squiggly line. If you just look at Chicago, and I'm going to be putting up some maps and some figures so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's just actually ridiculous what's happened, like truly, and quite sad. I'm in a civics class currently, so um, I've been diving into a lot of the government issues, and a lot of this needs to be solved with legislation passed by Congress. But another issue is our Congress is so divided by So bipartisanship, we have an issue of the House just completely divided. And when you have a House that's completely divided, it's just no longer even serving the needs of the people. It's just not. And I'm not being political here, but when you have representatives like Nancy Pelosi who have made $100 million in a stock fund because they know how the market's going to work, it's like, are you serious? And you're not passing legislation to make living more affordable. Like, it's a joke. And when I say that, they're not even proposing legislation that's going to help. Nothing's been proposed that the people are even talking about. Everyone is currently pretty focused on the Epstein files, which honestly, I would love to see those get released. But, let's be real. Is that ever going to happen? I don't know. I did see that Trump just posted that he wants House Republicans to release it, but I don't really know what's going to happen with that. I want to know, and the whole thing behind that is I want the people to go to jail who have been touching children because you need to be in jail for that. I think that's pretty common sense. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Inflation rates. The entire presidential campaign with Trump, and this video is not bashing Trump. All right, I don't want to make people upset. I mean, I know what's going to happen. I know people who watch this video might get upset, but it's really not the goal. So yes, we have a lower inflation rate than what we had underneath the Biden-Harris administration. I truly think the Biden-Harris administration botched it, but that's just personal opinion. Take it as you will. Take it as you will. Just because we have a lower inflation rate does not mean that the cost of living is going down. And I'm tired of seeing people posting, oh, the cost of living is going down, yada yada. Trump said this, Trump said that. Guys, that does not mean anything. Prices are always going to go up. The main issue is a livable wage. Let me pull up what it was that I found. All right, here we go. Here's what I found. So the cost of living since the 1990s has gone up 67%. All right, yeah, 6-7. Get off my page, bro. But wages have only gone up 18%. Back in the 90s, there's many cases of a family that had one person working and yet could provide for many children. Many. Now, you have to have both parental figures working, children working. It's like, come on. Why is no one talking about that? It's becoming a system of keeping the poor poor and wiping out a middle class by just making everybody poor at this point. Like, I don't want to turn into something like Canada where they can't even afford houses because their housing market is that bad. I don't want to get to that point. So, I guess really the main purpose of this video is to say Gen Z's really got to open their eyes and look at what's happening and do something about it. Now, I say that, and most people who are watching this video, if people even watch this video, are not going to do anything about it. That's okay. You don't have to. Nobody has to do anything about the issues that I'm talking about. Nobody. But all I'm saying is if nobody does anything, it only gets worse. Only gets worse. One second. I'm going to pull up this poem. So I'm going to read this poem. And I want to talk about it. And it's not directly related to what's happening right now. But I want to read the poem. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Now I say that poem because at this current moment, We are in a situation where if nobody does anything and nobody says anything, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And we're going to become a situation like Canada where you can't do anything about it. I like, you're literally just screwed and there's nothing you can do. I don't want to live in America if that's what it's like. Like, no, thank you. It needs to be right here. We need to have a, a place where I can afford to buy a house, a place where you can afford to buy a house, where you can have as many kids as you want if you want kids. If you don't, cool beans. If you want to have 3 dogs and 5,000 cats, go for it. But if nobody goes out and changes what's happening, think of the future people who are going to be on this earth. Think about that. They're just going to be slaves again? Just a different form of indentured servitude? It's just how unbelievable the people in our Congress don't do anything. And here's the solution: you can speak out, protest, make a petition, but most importantly, what you can do is vote. Now, it sucks to go out and vote because it takes a few hours, but that's the only way things are going to get better. And I think truly the thing that should be focused on is who you're voting for. In Indiana, I live in Indiana, Mike Braun, our senator, was running as a Republican, and obviously he won. Indiana is quite a Republican state. Yeah, on his campaign page, he had not one policy listed. The only thing he was running on was the fact that he was a Republican. Do you see the problem with that? There is a massive problem with that. People just don't seem to care who's in the government, who's representing them. Oh, they're Republican, they'll side with Trump, yada yada, I'm good. Absolutely not. we, that's not a way to vote, and that's honestly one of the worst ways to vote. You like people actually need to look at who's being a representative and maybe not just vote for the Republican. The entire position of our government is that Congress is meant to be the body of government that passes the legislation. The legislative branch is the most powerful branch in the government by far, not the executive branch, which this current administration is kind of pulling this by using acts and certain case law from so long ago. It's insane, in my opinion, why it's even allowed, but that's just my opinion. The only thing to do in this situation is diversify Congress. It doesn't just have to be Democrat and Republican. And I think a lot of people think that way because of the Electoral College and the presidency. But the House and the Senate should not be answering to a president. That just violates the checks and balances that the founding fathers came up with. And also, something that I want to talk about is the bipartisanship that we've got going on right now. Something that I want to talk about is the hatefulness, the people who really just love to say, "Oh, I bet you're a Democrat," or "I bet you're a Republican, and this is so bad. You're just wrong. Look at these policies." Yeah, that okay. I don't care that you have to be hateful. Our founding father, John Adams, was a strong believer of due process and innocent until proven guilty. The reason I'm saying this is because after the Boston Massacre, John Adams represented the British soldiers that shot American citizens. He represented them because he thought that was the right thing to do. He absolutely disagreed with them, thought they were wrong for what they did. But yet he still represented them because that's what you have to do in this country. It's not about being hateful, it's about accepting others' ideas. And just because they have a different idea than you does not mean they are the devil. It does not mean they are a bad person. I think a lot of people confuse policies things with morals. Don't do that. There are a lot of good people out there on both sides. A lot of good people. It's about embracing other ideas and working together. It's we the people not we, the Congress, not we, the House, we, the Senate, or we, the executive branch. It's we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, and to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. That's the preamble of the Constitution. I know that off the top of my head. Boom. I can't prove that to you guys because you're going to think I looked off of a screen, but I don't care. So, think about what I've said as someone, maybe even if you're not Gen Z, think about what's going on around you and take action, because I don't know if anyone is going to watch this video. I don't know if people are going to make an impact. I don't know what's even going to come of this. But I thought about making it simply because change does need to happen. And a lot of it. I think amendments need to be passed. I have ideas. We talk about them a lot in my civics class about what can we do, what can we change, what can we make better as a country. There's a lot of great ideas out there. There's quite a few of them. And there's a lot of solutions available, but it comes with making some changes. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's something that should be embraced by people. I think that people really need to open up and think about what's really going on. And I encourage you to do that. Stay involved. Don't get all of your news from one place. If you don't even have to get your news from me, bro. Go find somebody else. I'm thinking about kind of going over current events and stuff going on around the world because I think it's interesting. I want to talk about stuff that's going to make people understand what's going on around the world, not just the United States. So I'm thinking about doing that too. I don't even know if this is going to do good as a video. I haven't made a video in a long time. I don't even know how I'm going to edit it. This might not even be in it. So to the people that watched and to the people that listened to me ramble about kind of current things that I disagree with, thank you. And go out and see if you can make a change. I know that's might be hard. That might be something you're not comfortable with. But think of the civil rights movement. I want you to think of Dr. Martin Luther King. Think of Abraham Lincoln. Think of John Adams, Thomas Jefferson. I can't think of, what's her name? Ruth B. Gaydens. What's her name? Ruth Gator Ginsburg? Ruth G. Ginsburg? What? Why was Gator? All right, Microsoft Bing instantly went to Ruth Gator Ginsburg. It's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Microsoft Bing, think of people who have really made change in a positive way. Maybe not in a positive way. I don't know. But think of it. Think of how you can make a change. And think of what you want your life to be. Because if you don't try, your life's not going to be what you want it to be. It's just not, you know? So I just want to say, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving your time to listen to me ramble. And I think I'll be making more content on current events. I want to. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.